Understanding the text. Acting is about human behavior, assembled in interesting ways. While exercises build imagination and provide tools for action, the ultimate goal is to embody and express a character. The actor doesn't just display themselves, but reveals the character's inner world. To portray a character convincingly, it is essential to explore the differences between people. For instance, an Italian designer, a Russian peasant, and a Chinese diplomat will have distinct manners, speech, and physicality, shaped by their backgrounds, education, and conditioning. The actor must capture not only national and occupational traits, but also individual differences. The process of moving from the external to the internal is crucial, especially when working with modern plays, where much of the character exists beneath the written lines. Unlike Shakespeare's works, where much of the character can be found in the dialogue, modern playwrights like Chekhov, Ibsen, and Tennessee Williams require actors to dig deeper into the subtext. An actor must uncover the layers beneath the words and incorporate them into the performance. One effective way to engage with a text is through paraphrasing. By putting the script into one's own words, an actor internalizes the ideas, ensuring that the meaning is clear to both themselves and the audience. Once the ideas are fully understood, the actor can return to the original lines with a fresh perspective, no longer constrained by punctuation or surface-level meaning. Understanding the social context of a play is also essential. Each character is shaped by their social, economic, and political environment, as well as their moral and religious beliefs. A father from Hamlet will differ significantly from a father in Death of a Salesman. Each has unique challenges and motives, rooted in their social and historical context. Without understanding this background, the actor cannot fully grasp the character's motivations and actions. The social situation in a play allows the actor to explore the character's depth, moving beyond mere types. Actors today cannot rely on playing simple archetypes. They must explore what makes each character unique within their world. Whether it is a father, a soldier, or a salesman, the actor must ask where the character comes from, what their background is, and what drives them. This understanding brings characters to life on stage. Actors must also give their performances a sense of scale, especially when dealing with significant themes. The modern play often explores fundamental questions about life, love, loyalty, and friendship. The actor's task is to make these ideas large, universal, and epic. A scene that might seem trivial must be elevated to its full emotional and thematic potential. For example, a line as simple as "If it were not for you, I wouldn't be here," spoken in the context of a prison, must be charged with larger ideas of guilt, betrayal, and redemption. Anger is another emotion that requires depth. Surface-level anger lacks impact, but when it is rooted in deeper frustrations, such as Stanley Kowalski's resentment of Blanche Dubois in A Streetcar Named Desire, the anger becomes monumental. The actor must avoid the temptation to reduce emotions to petty levels, and instead find the epic quality in each situation. The actor's responsibility is to find and communicate the universal ideas in a play. A clear example is found in Pygmalion, where Eliza Doolittle's struggle for independence represents a larger fight against social class oppression. Her battle isn't just personal. It speaks to the universal theme of individual freedom against societal constraints. Actors must embody this scale, ensuring that their performance resonates with the broader significance of the story. A key exercise in understanding the structure of a play is to look for sequences within the text. By identifying a series of interconnected ideas, or emotional beats, an actor can trace the development of a character or monologue. This allows the actor to avoid focusing on individual lines, and instead build a performance based on a logical progression of ideas. For instance, in Eliza's monologue in Pygmalion, the sequence moves from her realization that she is just as good as Henry Higgins, to her contemplation of exposing his trickery, and finally to her self-reproach for allowing herself to be trampled. In every performance, actors must control the size of the play, ensuring that the ideas presented on stage are large and meaningful. They must also understand the character's background thoroughly. This means imagining the character's past in vivid detail, using the 5 W's: who, what, where, when, and why. These questions help shape the character's actions and decisions. Professions play a crucial role in shaping characters. What a character does informs much of who they are. Whether the character is a lawyer, a beggar, or a teacher, the profession provides structure and insight into their behavior. Actors must study the profession of their character, understanding its intricacies and how it shapes the character's identity. For example, a panhandler on the street doesn't behave randomly. The actor must consider how the panhandler approaches people, how they think, and how they feel about their profession. By focusing on the profession and building a believable past for the character, the actor gains confidence and authority in their performance. This self-assuredness is reflected in the character's actions and choices on stage. Knowing who the character is and what they do creates a foundation for a strong performance. The essence of acting lies in understanding the character's social context, profession, and background, while also giving the performance scale and universality. The actor must constantly ask questions about the character's motivations and how they relate to the broader themes of the play. By doing so, the actor creates a performance that is both deeply personal and widely resonant. The journey to becoming a character is one of endless study, but it is through this process that the actor brings the text to life, enriching the audience with meaningful, thought-provoking theatre. For learning exercises, it is better to choose a profession that requires direct observation rather than something familiar. Study crafts that have distinct costumes and props, such as printer, sailor, nurse, carpenter, or miller. The profession should involve a clear use of tools, but without excessive props. In one instance, a student portrayed a combat photographer, carrying numerous pieces of camera equipment. His performance was chaotic, with falling props and exaggerated movements. It lacked the precision and control expected from a professional. A camera is a scientific instrument designed to capture moments. The student failed to convey this through his uncontrolled, noisy performance. Stage accidents should never be unplanned. The actor must always maintain control of the props. The portrayal of a profession should focus on craftsmanship, not overt drama, which evolves naturally from the craft. The actor's task is to represent a way of life rather than create artificial plot moments. The rhythm of performing a profession is essential. In this case, the student's portrayal was too dramatic and not grounded in the real work of a photographer. When asked to switch to photographing architecture, the rhythm of the action became more authentic. The profession itself should dictate the actor's rhythm, something developed through repeated practice during rehearsals. Another student tried to portray a professor, but the physicality of the performance was lacking. The walk was flat, and the profession didn't lend itself to clear, observable actions. It's important to select professions where physical actions are evident to the audience. A professor of English, for example, may struggle to demonstrate clear movement and purpose on stage. In contrast, another student portrayed an electrician, with a well-chosen costume including an electrician's belt filled with tools. However, his actions were too slow, and his appearance didn't match the profession. A worker's hands and face should reflect their environment, dusty or dirty, with appropriate props. This highlights the importance of appearance and how costume subtly reinforces a profession. In another exercise, a student played a librarian. The books she carried indicated her profession, but her clothing was not suitable for the role. The clothes and props must work together to portray the profession authentically. Too many props, or the wrong costume, can disrupt the audience's belief in the character. Another student portrayed a department manager at Tiffany's, arranging items on a display and using props like a clipboard and glasses. While the performance began well, it faltered when the student polished glasses with his own handkerchief, something a manager wouldn't do. The performance was also too stagey, with too much attention on impressing the audience. The actor must avoid theatricality, focusing instead on truthful actions. Turning away from the audience can help focus attention on the tasks at hand, making the performance more natural. In acting, preparation isn't always visible. Like flowers that grow in unseen places, much of an actor's work happens in the background. The character's past must be fully realized for the actor to live truthfully in the present on stage. For instance, when portraying a shop manager, one must consider the shop's history and the character's upbringing, which can shape their behavior and actions. A manager who grew up in Europe, raised in an environment valuing antiques, would likely display meticulousness in their work, which should translate into their actions on stage. The actor should find ways to express the character's seriousness through physical actions, such as handling delicate antiques or lecturing about them. A character's background must also be considered. In the case of an antique shop manager, the actor should understand the character's upbringing, how their family's values influenced them, and how this shaped their behavior. The manager's precise manner of dress and attention to detail should be reflected in the performance. The actor should research and understand their character's world thoroughly, as this informs every action on stage. One practical exercise for actors is to draw out the circumstances of the shop on paper. Mapping the acting space can help when rehearsing at home. Visualize the shelves, objects, and workspace, and practice moving within these imagined spaces. Consider how the character behaves at work and away from it, in social settings, and with family or friends. These details make the character more complete and believable. This approach can be applied to any profession, whether portraying a gardener, a painter, or a college student. Observing people in different settings, at work, in public spaces, or in social environments, can reveal important clues about their actions and behavior. Study the professionalism of different crafts and how this affects the character's personal life. How does a professional act outside the job? Is their behavior consistent or different in personal settings? Every detail matters, from their mannerisms to their level of organization, nervousness, or meticulousness. Actors must consider every aspect of the character's life. Omitting any detail can result in inconsistencies during a performance. Thorough preparation and observation ensure the actor's portrayal is truthful, precise, and grounded in reality.